Hey guys, RoboGabby here with my very first tutorial with CoderZ. Today we will be discussing drive systems, motors, and wheels. Before we get started, let me explain again the opportunity CoderZ has given me. CoderZ has given me the opportunity to have my own classroom where I get to teach kids about robotics and programming. So I decided to choose 20 girls to have the opportunity to be a part of my classroom. If you want to be a part of my classroom, first you need to get parent permission to go on YouTube, like this video, and comment with the hashtag LearningCodersWithRoboGabby. Or you can retweet my tweet on Twitter and comment with the hashtag LearningCodersWithRoboGabby. Or you can repost my post on Instagram with the hashtag LearningCodersWithRoboGabby. Or you can just contact me saying that you want to be a part of my classroom.
Hotshot Hollywood Honcho, say what?
Since I'll be teaching the class, all of my CoderZ tutorials will be snippets so that you can get a taste of CoderZ. If you want more information on CoderZ, check out their link below. If you don't want to be part of my classroom, you should still give CoderZ a try. With that being said, if you want to try out CoderZ, go to gocoders.com, click the Login tab at the top right corner, then click Try CoderZ, and fill in your correct information to register into CoderZ. Now let's flip back into our normal schedule. So what are drive systems? Motors, wheels, a steering wheel, and a driver makes up a drive system. A drive systems are all the things that it takes to make a vehicle drive. So let's roll with motors. Motors use energy to create a rotational movement. And lastly, let's move with wheels. As wheels spin, they grip their surface, and the force of friction pushes the robot forward. And there goes your preview for my classroom's first lesson. I told you it was going to be a snippet. Sign up for my classroom to learn more. Now let's discuss more about CoderZ. CoderZ has the option to use block code or Java code. In the near future, I'll be explaining both block and Java code, but for now, we will stick with block code. But you want to know a secret? Look out for future Java programming tutorials with yours truly. Now let's take a look at CoderZ to familiarize ourselves with the user interface, and then review some basic block code. So this is what CoderZ user interface looks like. On the left side of your screen is the tab menu. The first tab is the Home tab, which is where we are at now. The second tab is the Projects tab, where you get to see all of the projects you have made. And the last tab is the Challenge tab, where you can do challenges or see tutorials. On the right side of your screen is the Learn section. You can start lessons, go to the user manual, do challenges, or see release notes. You can also make a new project by clicking the Start New Project button. Let's go start a new project so that we can make some block code. Let's name our project Moving Forward. Now click Next. We are going to be using block Java. Click Next. We are going to be using the scene Parking Lot 1. Now click Next. Now click Begin Coding. This is CoderZ project window, where you write your code and run your simulation. On the left side are the commands for the block code. The first command is the motor, the second is sensor, the third is control flow, the fourth is output, the fifth is variables, the sixth is data, and the seventh is the gamepad. In the top toolbar, there are several buttons for functions such as the Save button, Compile, the Run Simulation, and the Download APK button. There are 3 tabs on the right side of the window, which are the Code tab, the Simulation tab, and the Configuration tab. The Code tab is where you can view your block code as Java code. Remember, during my tutorials, we will be reviewing both block and Java code. I'm still learning Java code myself. The Configuration tab is where you configure your robot. The Simulation tab is where you can see your code in action in a 3D view. If you click on this tab, remember that it takes time to compile your code and load the simulation. Below is the console tab. In this area, the compiler will let us know many different things about our program, like errors, current statuses, and other different outputs from our program. Now let's make a program that can make our robot move forward. Let's go to the Variables tab and get the declare var as int to be command. Change var to timer and int to bool. And put it underneath the program start command. Now let's go to the Data tab and get a true command and put the command behind the word B. Now let's go to Control Flow and get the repeat while do loop and put it underneath the declare timer as bool to be true command. Now let's go to Variables and get the var command and change var to timer and put it right next to the while loop. Next, let's go to Motor and get the drive power direction forward command and put it within the repeat loop. Let's go to Data and get a number and set it at 100 and put it right next to the drive power. Now let's go to Control Flow and get the wait for milliseconds command and put it underneath the drive power direction command. Now let's go to Data and get a number and set it at 17,000 and put it next to the 4 in our wait for milliseconds command. Now let's go back to Variables and get a set var2 command and change the var to timer and put it underneath the wait for milliseconds command. Now let's go to Data and get a true command and change it to false. Then put it next to the set timer to command. Now let's go to Motors and get two get left drive.set power commands and put them outside of the while loop. Set the second command to the right drive. Now let's go to Data and get two numbers and set both of them at 0 and put them next to the get left drive and get right drive set power commands. Again, I won't be reviewing the Java code today, but I just wanted to have it up so you can compare it to the block code. Can you see and understand where the code matches? The first line of code is our program start, which means that the program is starting. The second line is declaring a variable named timer as a boolean, and the boolean is true. The next block is a repeat while timer do loop. The while loop is saying while the timer is true, the drive power is equal to 100 and the direction is to go forward. Then the robot will wait for 17,000 milliseconds, and the timer will be set to false. Once the code gets to the end of the loop, the timer will now equal false, so it will not repeat. Outside of the loop, the compiler is setting the left drive and right drive power at 0. So this is our first program to move the robot forward. Now let's click the Simulation tab to see this code in action. Now the code will compile and the simulation will load. In the simulation window, there is another toolbar at the top right with several buttons for different functions. Let's click the second button, which is the play button to run our code. Remember the while loop in our code, where as long as our timer was set to true, the drive power was set to 100, and the direction was to move forward and then wait for 70,000 milliseconds, and then set the timer to false? Well, this is what's happening here. So today, you guys got a snippet of my classroom's first lesson on drive systems, motors, and wheels. And we got to familiarize ourselves with CoderZ user interface. And we reviewed some basic block code. In my next CoderZ tutorial, I'll give you a snippet of my classroom's lesson 2 material. We will learn about the tank drive and program the pushbot robot to move forward using the tank drive. Thanks for watching. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and remember to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Google+. And remember, girls can be engineers too. Bye!